The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the park, where the leaves of the old oak trees swayed gently in the breeze. Ethan sat on a bench, his heart pounding in his chest, his hands clasped tightly in his lap. He was waiting for Chloe, the woman he had hurt years ago, the woman he had tried so desperately to help, though she had no idea who he really was. For the last 5 years, Ethan had been Chloe's anonymous guardian angel, quietly watching over her, helping her in ways she would never know. It had started with guilt, a weight that had settled over him after the night he had made the worst mistake of his life. Back then, they had been just two people crossing paths in a chaotic world. Ethan had been reckless, thoughtless, caught up in his own life, and he had caused her immense pain without realizing the consequences. He had gotten into a car accident one night, a reckless mistake. Chloe had been the other driver. Though neither of them had been gravely injured, her life had fallen apart afterward. The medical bills piled up, her job became too difficult to manage with her injuries, and her confidence shattered. Ethan had wanted to apologize, to make things right, but his own shame held him back. So instead of stepping forward, he had watched from afar as her life unraveled. But when he saw her struggling, he couldn't just walk away. He had to do something. So he started sending money anonymously, leaving it where she would find it, small amounts at first, then larger as her medical bills grew. When he saw that she was about to lose her apartment, he intervened again, paying her rent through an anonymous account. He even recommended her for jobs, disguising his involvement behind fake names and online profiles, doing everything he could to ease the burden he had placed on her life. Over time, Ethan became her silent protector, her unseen support. Chloe had no idea where the help was coming from, but she accepted it gratefully. Slowly, her life began to improve. She started a new job, moved into a nicer apartment, and regained the confidence she had lost. But the guilt that weighed on Ethan never faded. He had made her life difficult, and even though he had helped her get back on her feet, the truth of what he had done, the truth of who he really was, remained hidden. Now, the time had come to reveal it. When Chloe finally arrived at the park, she smiled as she spotted him, completely unaware of the storm brewing inside his heart. They had met recently through mutual friends, forming a friendship that felt natural, even though it was built on lies. She had no idea that Ethan was the man who had been helping her all these years, the man who had hurt her in the first place. "Hey," she said, sitting down next to him on the bench. "You sounded serious on the phone. What's going on?" Ethan's throat tightened as he tried to find the words. The truth he had kept hidden for so long felt like a mountain between them, one he wasn't sure he could climb. But he had to. Chloe deserved to know the truth, even if it meant losing the friendship they had built. "There's something I need to tell you," Ethan said quietly, his voice trembling. "Something I should have told you a long time ago." Chloe frowned, her smile fading. "What is it?" Ethan took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. "Do you remember the car accident you were in about 5 years ago? The one that caused all the problems with your job and your bills?" Chloe's expression grew tense, and she nodded slowly. "Of course, I remember. That was a really hard time in my life." Ethan's hands shook as he continued. "I was the other driver." Chloe's eyes widened in shock, and she stared at him, her face pale. "What?" "I was the one who hit you," Ethan confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. "I was careless that night, and I didn't even stop to make sure you were okay. I knew I had caused you so much pain, and I was too ashamed to face you." Chloe blinked, her eyes filling with disbelief. You were the driver? All this time, I thought it was just some random person who never bothered to come forward." She stopped, her voice catching. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I was scared," Ethan admitted, tears welling in his eyes. "I thought if I told you, you'd hate me. So instead of coming forward, I tried to help you from a distance. I was the one who sent you the money. I paid your rent. I helped you get back on your feet, but I did it anonymously because I couldn't bear to face you." Chloe's face went pale, her eyes wide with shock. "You've been helping me? All these years?" Ethan nodded, guilt flooding his chest. "Yes. I didn't know how else to make it right. I couldn't undo the pain I caused, but I tried to fix it in the only way I knew how. For a long moment, Chloe didn't say anything. She just sat there, her hands trembling in her lap, her mind racing with the weight of Ethan's confession. I don't know what to say, she whispered, her voice shaking. You were my guardian angel. And now, I don't even know who you are. I'm sorry, Ethan said, his voice breaking. I didn't mean to hurt you again. I just couldn't keep lying to you. I couldn't keep pretending I wasn't the one who caused all of this. Chloe looked away, her jaw tight with emotion. I trusted you, Ethan. I thought you were just a friend. But now, I don't even know how to feel. Ethan swallowed hard, his chest aching. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know what I did was wrong. But I needed you to know the truth. I needed to come clean. The silence between them stretched on, the weight of the confession pressing down on both of them. Finally, Chloe stood up, her expression conflicted. I need time to think about this, she said quietly. I can't process it right now. Ethan nodded, his heart heavy with regret. I understand. Take all the time you need. Without another word, Chloe turned and walked away, her footsteps echoing through the park as Ethan watched her go. His chest felt hollow, his guilt finally out in the open but no less painful. He had tried to help, to make up for the damage he had done. But in the end, the truth had come crashing down, threatening to destroy the very relationship he had worked so hard to protect. As he sat there alone, Ethan knew that redemption wasn't something that could be bought with money or good deeds. It was something earned through honesty, through facing the consequences of your actions, no matter how painful. He had taken the first step by telling the truth. Now, all he could do was wait and hope that Chloe would find it in her heart to forgive him. But even if she didn't, Ethan knew that he had finally done the right thing. The burden of his secret had been lifted, and for the first time in years, he felt the faintest flicker of peace. The road to forgiveness would be long, but at least now it could begin.
Skameline ta. Pope. 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 Skameline ta. Pope.